Hello everyone, Jaywin here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my MCT oil gummies. These are my gummies right here. I've been working on this for a little while. Definitely some trial and error, but I think I got a good recipe here, so I thought I'd share it with you. Maybe you want to try it for yourself. It's pretty straightforward. It has a one-third cup corn syrup. It has a quarter cup of MCT oil. It has a half a cup of water. It has 1 6-ounce box of jello. And it has 3 tablespoons of gelatin, a little squeeze of lemon juice. I add a little bit of this, it's like a Mio kind of a thing, water enhancing flavor thing. I'm sure you've seen it. And then to make them shelf stable, I use potassium sorbate. Now you mix that 3 to 1, and then you put in 1 teaspoon per batch. And these will make your gummies shelf stable, so they'll stay about 9 months out of the cold storage, room temperature. But they stay better, the texture stays better if you keep them in the freezer or in a sealed jar or something with no air can get to them, because they do start to dry out after a while. That's just a little tip. But let me set this back up on the tripod and we'll get into making the gummies. Okay, let's get into it. So the first step is you take a half a cup of water, you add it to your pot. And then you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of your gelatin. One, 2, 3. And you want to mix this around gently. Get it all incorporated. And you're going to let that sit for 10 minutes. This is called blooming. You're going to bloom your gelatin. Okay, now what I've done is I already bloomed this one over here. I just wanted to show you this. We're going to use this one because this one's already ready to go. It's been sitting for 10 minutes. So now we're going to turn the heat on. What you don't want to do is you don't want to boil it. If it boils, it separates. And if that happens, what you do is you just put it into the fridge, and let it cool down, and then reheat it again, and you should be okay to go. So let's turn this on. I have this set for 180. One of the good things about these little cooktop thingies. This is a new wave. I just got it. It shuts off. And you take it off the burner. I actually bought these pots and pans to use in the burner, but these are aluminum and they don't register on this. So if you're getting one of these, make sure you know that the pots you have, you want to work on it. So anyways, so now that we have this warming up, I'm going to add my 1/3 cup of corn syrup. I forgot my little scraper thingy. Hold on. Okay, so your 1/3 cup of corn syrup. Now usually the recipes call for a 1/4 cup. I use 1/3 of a cup because I think it gives it more of a silkier, gummier texture. So you got that in there, and then I'm going to add jello. Now this is 1 6-ounce box. Today I'm using cherry. Put that in there. And then I do just a squeeze of this. Just give it a little flavor. And then I do a little bit of lemon juice. Again, just a little bit of tang and flavor. Not much. Now I'm going to add my potassium sorbate. I've already mixed this up 3 to 1. 3 parts water, 1 part potassium sorbate. And you're going to add a 1 teaspoon to the mixture. And this will keep them shelf stable for up to 9 months. So you get that. And then a lot of people use lecithin, I don't like the flavor of this at all. So I use guar gum. And I use 1/4 teaspoon. But you have to add it to the MCT oil. If you add it to this, it will just ball up and it won't mix in. So you have to add it to the MCT oil or the oil you're using first. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon. Takes a second to mix sometimes. There you go. It's all mixed in there. So add my MCT oil. So now we have everything in there that we need. So now we're just going to stir it gently and bring it up to temperature till it's all combined. Just let it sit and do its thing. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. You don't want it to boil. And the more you stir it, the more the jello breaks, and you'll see the jello, the broken jello started to float to the top. And they say don't use any metal utensils while you're doing this, because it will break the jello more. But it's kind of funny that they say that, but you're cooking it in a metal pan. So I don't know what the logic of that is, but who knows? Well, if you know, please explain, because I don't know what that is. But we're just going to just keep on heating up. The less you stir it, the better. I overstir. So what I do is, once this comes to, once it's mixed to the point where I'm happy, you need to skim the broken jello. And what I do is I'll just take this whole pot, stick it in the fridge, let it harden, and the broken jello will stay to the top. So then I'll put it back on the burner after it's cooled completely, and I'll warm it back up, and the broken jello stays in the top. And you can almost just pinch it and pull almost all the broken jello off. I've had pretty good luck with that. I'm going to try it here today, see if it works. This is starting to come together. You can see some of the, see right here? This is going to be broken jello. And you'll see it all start to float to the top. You want to get it all mixed in. And the guar gum, just like the lecithin, is an emulsifier, so it helps mix. Oops. So it helps mix, the oil and the water together, so they stay all together. Okay, you can start to see it's still a little oily on top. I'm gonna keep going a little bit more, but it's starting to get there. You can see still see the oil marks on the top. Oil lines. And also the less you stir it, the less air bubbles you get into it. But you got to stir it to get it all mixed. That wasn't a very good one. That was a little better. But skimming the jello is what's really key to get the clarity that you want. But they're nice and soft, and they're they're gummy-like. This light's not doing it very good justice. It's so bright. Yeah. You're definitely yummy. Okay, I can smell this now. So, don't be doing this to me again. Okay, so we got it mixed. See that it's all mixed? So now we're going to start to see the gelatin start forming to the top. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So, I'm pretty happy with that mixture. Still a little oily. It's getting real hot now too. So. All right. So, you can see the broken jello starting to form. Really can't see it in this light, I'm sorry. Damn it. There you go. Right here. See it right there? There you go. That's broken jello right there. All on the edge. So now what I'll do is I'll take this and stick it into the fridge, just the way it is right now, and let this harden. And I'll be back when it's hardened, and I'll show you how I remove it. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now this is cold. This has been in the fridge. You can see the broken jello now. See it's all white right here? This is all broken jello. We need to remove that. So I have this on the heat, and it's slowly heating up. You can see that it's starting to move. And once it warms up, the bottom is going to be liquid, and the top is going to be kind of solidified still. So I can usually grab and just pinch it and pull a lot of it right up at the same time and discard it. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does, but I'm going to try it, see if it does work today. So we just need to let it heat up a little bit. But I wanted to show you maybe some better gummies than what I showed you before. These are grape. There's a lime one. So the key about the clarity is skimming the jello. So I'm just gonna grab it and pinch it. You'll feel it. It'll kind of feel like skin like this. You'll feel it when it gets to that point. So as it's going, these are the molds I'm going to be using today. I got skulls and these donut things, like I showed you before. Donuts and the skulls. I like these. These are my favorite texture that I've found so far, so I tend to stick with them. I bought so many molds. I have dozens and dozens that I don't even use. I need to find a new home for them, actually. Let someone else use them for a change. Just sit in my closet. Okay, let's see if I can bring this up here. It's not, can't quite pinch it yet. It's getting there though. So it's still kind of thick into the pan, the jello. So once I remove all the broken jello the best I can, I'll stick it into here, pour it all into here, then I'll pour it into the molds here. And if I can't, if I can't get all the broken jello up by that pinch, which I sometimes can't get all of it, I use a ladle and I'll skim it. And then once I get it into here, a lot of it will form right on the top if I need to. And then I'll just skim it right off. Well, so much for that idea. I tried. It didn't work at all. I let it go too far. So I'm going to use the old ladle method. And what I do is I just move it all to one side best I can. But you can see it's still kind of cool. It's not really hot, so it's not really melted all the way. So what I'll do is I'll just grab a cup, come in, skim the top. This is very messy, but getting all that broken jello out is key. And it's still kind of cool, so it's easier for me to pick up this way. If it was hot, it'd be moving around a lot more. So it did benefit me by putting it back in the fridge, but not to the point where I wanted to really show you what it does. I didn't get a good handle on it. It melted too quickly. I'm not a very good videographer, so my timing was not very good. So you just, like I said, getting all that broken jello off is the most important part for the nice clear gummies. And if you don't get it all, the bottom of the gummies are going to be sticky when you take them out of the mold. And they still usually are in some way, but the more you can get of this, the better off you are. But you also don't want to lose too much product either. And you can still, you can still eat this, but it's just got a weird, like, foamy kind of a texture to it. It's not good. All right, turn this back on. So that's going to be good enough for me. And like I said, when I get it into this measuring cup, I'll be able to skim it again. So I'm just going to bring this up to a little bit more of a temperature. I'll still kind of work at the skimming of it. It's really not. You can still see the haziness. That's still kind of broken jello there, but it's not bad. The more you can get that out of there, the better off you'll be. Like I said, you don't want to take too much because then you're losing product. You're losing your gummies, man. All right. So, well, we got this heated up. I'm going to take a measuring cup, pour it off. Now, heating this measuring cup in the microwave for like 30 seconds before you start will definitely help keep them pouring better when you fill in the molds. Okay, let me get this out of here. Bring in the molds. So, whoop. I make a mess. All right, so now we have the gummies, and you can still see some of the broken jello on top, but it's not bad. They actually did a pretty good job. I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to start to pour. Okay. I've never done this on camera, so see how it goes. Yeah. basically all you do. And you fill them all away. And I'm going to fill these. I'm sure that's boring for you. I'll fill these all and I'll let them dry. So after I fill all of these, I'm going to stick them in the fridge, let them sit for about a half hour, 45 minutes. And then I'll take them out and I'll put them on parchment paper and I'll dry them. I'll be back to show you that process. I'm going to finish filling these and I'll be back. See you in a few. Okay, hello, welcome back. I've had these been in the fridge for about 45 minutes. I'm just demolding them now. And they just pop right out. Whoop. This color. Now these need to dry. These are not done. See, they're kind of soft. So these need to, I like to dry these for 24 hours. I found is my magic time. And that's where the beauty of these come in, because you can dry them less, you can dry them more. All depends on your flavor palette, what kind of chewiness you like. I will bag these like 18 hours in. I'll take these and I'll throw them all in a Ziploc bag and let them sit for a few hours, because what happens is the edges here will start to get really, really dried out. And I don't want them to get to the point where they're too dry. So by putting them into a bag at like 18 hours, let them sit for a couple hours, they like rehydrate the edges, and then I'll take them back out and let them dry again. But that's just something that I do. You don't need to do that. Just have fun with it and find the texture you like. These gummies are very versatile, so just have fun with it. Dry them to where you want your chewiness selection and enjoy it. I put on a couple here that have been dried for 24 hours, and some that were just demolding. I'm going to show you the difference. I'm sure you can probably see already. This is fresh from the mold. This is dried for 24 hours. This is fresh from the mold. This is dried for 24 hours. You can definitely see the difference in the texture. It's much firmer and chewier. So like I said, dry them to the texture you want. They're shelf stable because we added the potassium sorbate, so they're not going to go bad on you. And when you get them to the texture you want, the doneness, I guess, store them in the freezer or in an airtight container. Like I said, the texture stays better in the freezer, definitely. But like a ball jar, like a mason jar, works great. This is what I keep out for when I feel like having a snack. I keep them in there and they stay really fresh. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you liked it. Give it a shot. Let me know if you try it. And you can make these for anybody. Like I said, it's MCT oil, so it's healthy. It's keto friendly. And if you want to infuse it, you can. You can put anything in there you want and use it for other things. If you like what you see here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear what you think, or if you have any advice for me, maybe some tips on how to get that pesky broken jello out of there. I'd love to hear what your method is. And I hope you all have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you soon.